Hello, it is Jay Foss back with another content video. Today I am talking about Rush, in particular countering Alfrike. As with some of the other videos I've done like this, I want to throw something out that establishes that I should be listened to on this. I do very well in Rush Wars. I've been tracking my top 100 wars since I joined back in December. And I'm nearing 80% in Rush, and I've only attacked 7 or 9 non-Alfrike tanks in Rush War. Since joining Gypsy Danger, my Rush one-shot percentage is almost exactly 80%, and for me that's actually higher than Arrow and one of the others. It may be Attack Boost or Equalizer, I can't remember which one. But my whole point in this video is that this isn't that hard. What I have set up here is the standard, what I'll call Rush defense. You have either Mother North in the left wing and Alfrike, or another Mother North in the right wing. If you're using Kalo, he goes in the left, and the reason he goes in the left is because you want him to fire all the specials of the dead heroes. You don't necessarily want Mother North to revive them first. It's not extraordinarily important, but it does matter. The left flank, you have Taunt, usually Ludwig, Krampus, Car, or BK. You may see Queen of Heartstone in there. And of course at tank, you have Alfrike. At the right flank, it varies a lot depending on alliance. I know 7 Days Departed used to run a second Taunt. We have recently switched to Khufu. Other options are Lady of the Lake, second Alfrike, Heimdall, Neath, a boosted health cleric, or just a healing cleric in general. Just basically something annoying, like even sliding Onatel into there, Miki, etc. So what I'm going to do for this topic is show you my teams, all of them, and to sort of talk about the basic strategy on how you can like literally get 80% one-shot rates on teams like this, both higher in the tournament because you can reuse heroes, but why this war should not be one where it's lower if you have the roster to counter it. So I'm going to cut right here and get into my teams. Alright, so getting into my teams, I'm going to start with the off colors first. And some of these have changed a little bit since I took this screenshot a couple weeks ago. As I said, my teams are in flux. But the basic premise is, for me, if you're not using yellow, then you need to be able to at least wipe aside a full team if you can. Like I am almost done with Louis, or however you say him or her, the one from Kavala, and that will replace Killhair on Team 3, for example. But the basic premise is to have a trio, especially in yellow. I'll get back to yellow in a second. But if you're not using yellow, you need to at least be able to wipe a side cleanly, like fully, with your trio, and then have 2 hard preemptive counters to Alfrike. So things that can help you with Alfrike before she fires. Now, a lot of the mistakes I see in Rush are people playing too fast. I see people not bringing dispels for the taunt. And you'll notice with all these teams, this blue team, Dispel can wipe aside 2 preemptive counters to Alfrike. This green team, I don't have Evelyn, but Evelyn would be in there if I could. But at least Franz can prevent the taunt, then 2 preemptive counters to Alfrike, wipe aside. Going back to the purple team, 2 preemptive counters to Alfrike, can wipe aside. Now going into the yellow teams, I think you can get away with not being able to wipe aside because you have the benefit of the yellow tiles. So to me, and I know I'm not in the minority for 3-1-1 for high-end rush. Almost everyone runs 3-1-1 for high-end rush. But I'm in the minority for 3-1-1 normal. I want to emphasize this point that 3-1-1 is very normal for high-end rush. But going into the yellow options, you can rely a little more on the tile damage. But notice I still have a Dispel in Costume Vivica, a Dispel in Divana, a Dispel in Lepiota. So all these, the ones in these 3/1/1s basically allow you to get, if you get any of your 3 colors, you're probably going to win. And that's sort of the premise here in Rush, for the, quote, high-end Rush strategy. Now, like I said, with yellow, you can get away with a little bit more, but even with, you don't necessarily have to wipe a side. I mean, like, you could make the argument DeAndre shouldn't be on one of my teams, but the Circus Heroes can cleanse themselves of Alfrike's mindless, so that's important to factor in. And I'll get into the specific heroes to preemptively counter Alfrike in a sec, but I will note that Mickey's one of the best offensive heroes, and I will also, for Rush, and I will note that Rush is a little bit different in the fact that some of the heroes are so strong that you can put 4 stars in, or you can put a 370 Mickey in, or you can sort of have more leeway because the skills are more important to me. Anyway, so those are the teams I use in Rush, and I have posted all my Rush Wars for months now. You can check out. But next, I'll get into sort of counters under this format. Maybe some people you're not thinking of. Obviously, you can see things like Proteus, Taunt, etc., Status Block. But I'll get into some of the other counters for countering Alfred. So going with that basic wipe aside or 3 yellow strategy, there's lots of counters you can use. Obviously, Alfrike to potentially counter Alfrike. Mickey is probably the best offensive Rush hero in the game. If I had 6 of them, I'd probably take all 6 of them to at least 370 just for Rush. He resists Alfrike. So that's why he's so valuable. I'm going to miss some scrolling through, but quickly skim through. And don't forget the dispels in this strategy. They're very big at dispelling taunt if you get behind. But all the taunt heroes are very powerful as one of the 1/1s that can preemptively counter Alfrike. You may look at a hero like this and say, oh, she cleanses, but remember, you're looking to preemptively counter, if you can, not hope she doesn't get hit and counter. So Loki can counter. Black Knight, one of the best Rush heroes overall is Poseidon. He resists all mana effects, including mindless, direct mana reduction. So Lady of the Lake minions, Neith, Alfrike, Mickey, everything. And he gives it to your whole team. Lady of the Lake is a decent one in the 3/1/1 for Rush. Autel is okay. A lot of people that don't have the dispels, and there are some people that just prefer it. I'd prefer to have the dispel use Franz, because if you can at least cast Franz beforehand, then you can stop the taunt and like the Mother North heal over time. Lepiota can obviously dispel taunt and get something out of the way. Grizzle can block it. Mist can prevent buffs. That's sort of a lower end option. You still want to preemptively counter Alfrike, but that's okay in a yellow, so you have 2 hit 3 yellows to go with it. Proteus is also a great option for Rush. Obviously, I don't have every hero. You could have Colvero, the guy that looks like Fabio. He's great. I don't have him. Going through, there is one 3-star I want to mention. There's Proteus again. This guy sort of protects nearby, and these passives are important, but the one that has become hugely popular in high-end Rush offense is actually a 3-star. And it's this guy because he can actually protect you preemptively, the whole team, and then if he does cast Mindless on himself, there is a chance to cleanse. So I've sort of gone over the format that I use in Rush. It's 3/1/1, 2 preemptive counters, a dispel or block buffs. Has to be in the trio. If it isn't, it better be yellow. If it's not yellow, you're already behind the 8 ball. I understand that things like blue dispellers and red dispellers and green dispellers you may not have them all, but in most alliances you also don't have to attack that defense I laid out 6 times, and I choose to. I go after it. Like I said, since December, I've only attacked a non-Alfrike tank in Rush War, I think 7 or 9 times, and those have all been Trevel or Lady of the Lake. So, I hope this helps a little bit. If you're running mono against Alfrike, you're just gambling, quite frankly. And I know I've got lots of hate mail about hating on mono before, but if you're running Russian mono, you're not optimizing your roster, at least against Alfrike. If you're fighting like Kunshin, yes, that's fine. But you really need multiple ways to counter Alfrike, and this way is I definitely did not come up with it. I was taught it by a handful of players shortly after I joined Wolves of the North. But this sort of 3-1-1 counter to Alfrike is the main way that we're doing it, and the main way that we can go 24-1 or 25 in a rush tournament, 5-star rush tournament, fairly easily, or go 6-6 against Alfrike. And there's no secret. Obviously, you have to have the heroes. It's building the correct team, and that team in this case is 3 that can kill a side, 2 different ones that can preemptively counter Alfrike, and if you're running yellow, you can get away with a lighter than can kill a side stack yellow, but they all still have to play a part. So I understand Rush is frustrating. People hate it. I love it. I think to me, it's the simplest format, because it all comes down to me, it's more board play, and thinking about team. It's more set up and play the board than it is just overpower with your heroes. So I know it's kind of rambling, but I hope it helps. I've had lots of great Rush Wars. Recently, I went 12-12 3 cycles ago. We beat Avengers last cycle. So I have Rush War down, and I believe that these will help if you listen and apply these techniques. And you can see my videos with commentary on this. Alfrike, let me rephrase that. Kalo, Taunt, Alfrike, Something Annoying, Mother North is no harder. In fact, I would argue it's easier than Nulfa Double Lacey. So apply these tips, get better in Rush. It's a real war. It counts. Slow down, especially in Rush. Most of the player base that I watch videos for plays too fast. Slow down, treat it like chess. Have the trio that can kill a side. Have it a spell in that trio if you have it. If you don't, have a prevent buffs and have 2 preemptive Alfrike counters. And I know that's a lot, but like I said, if you don't have that, you also probably don't have to hit 6 of them. So that's how you go 80% against meta Alfrike teams. As I said yesterday, I will be working on a hardest hitter thing. I already have all the data. I've been keeping it for years. But thinking about how to present hardest hitters, and I hope that's of interest. And as always, thank you for watching, and good luck in war.